There we go. I don't really like the fact that this mute button get hit a lot, so appreciate yeah, my bad. I can hear myself too. So shout out to Vaughn, shout out to Daryl. I don't like the fact that mute button right there, but because I'm always hitting it. But yeah, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. We're gonna do some Lions and Pistons. We do have a Lion Piston playlist. It's called the Power String playlist. If you want to hear some more of the past videos we did, it should be a few in there, but also put these in the individual um Lions Live and Piston Live playlist. So let's go. Jalen Duren. So they have an update on Jalen Duren, pretty much saying that, Jalen Duren is he don't have any suitors right now. So he don't have any suitors right now for Jalen Duren. Um, am I surprised by that? No, because the Pistons have maintained the fact that they weren't trading him and he gonna be here. And now I don't know what kind of and I guess I asked Google AI. I don't know what makes the fact where some rookies are restricted free agents and some not. I never really thought about asking that. But if he wasn't restricted, I believe he would have been already gone. Okay, but let's go.
There's been zero progress since the last time we talked about this. I believe it was maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe around the time of summer league. Of they were having discussions and the sides were very far apart. Nothing has really changed on that. The Pistons offer is pretty much what it is. It's somewhere in that $30 to $35 million annually range. They don't want to go above that for Jalen Duren. They don't view him as a max level guy as him and his camp do, and that's why the situation is going to continue to drag on. It's going to go on to late August, possibly early September, maybe even late September, and then past training camp. Maybe this still isn't figured out then, and it's just closer to the start of the season. But I've heard nothing about signing trades. The Pistons are not interested in that. And everybody I talk to says Jalen Duren is not going to be taking the qualifying offer, that they think he would be absolutely crazy to do so. I tend to agree. I mean, you're an all-star, all-NBA talent. You're going to take the qualifying offer. That's a major risk for you to do, especially as a center where there's more wear and tear for those guys in this league than guards and wings. And so we'll see what happens. The Pistons do not want to go more than $35 million for Jalen Duren. I think that somewhere in that $32, $33 million range is very fair value for him, whether it's a 3-year, 4-year deal. And we'll just kind of wait and see what happens. That's kind of where we're at with this restricted free agency and what the holdup is. It's just two sides that are very far apart, and there's really no middle ground right now. They're just very far apart on these discussions.
All right, so you heard what he says. They're very far apart on the discussions. 30 to 40 million is the range. I think the more you get closer to 40 or above 40 million, I think you start to prorate the years. Basically, what I mean by that, you start to hear pretty much you going down to 2-3 years. That's what you're going down to, 2-3 years. 4 years. He might not get the whole 5. You know what I mean? He might get 2 in the player option. Maybe they do a 1-and-1. I don't know. I don't know. But ultimately, I think some of the people's has a PSTD. Hopefully, I said that right. When it kind of comes to him from the fact of that Andre Drummond got his money and got contempt. Now Jalen Duren may argue me and Duren are two different, or me and Andre Drummond are two different people. So you can't really put him on me. You know what I mean? And I agree with that. I agree. You can't really say, hey man, this guy, because this guy did this, don't mean I'm gonna do it. But in general, it's a sticky situation, bro, because the way they drug this out, and it's no way it couldn't have been public, because it can't be public, because people still gonna be wondering, why ain't Duren signed? Why ain't Duren signed? Why ain't Duren signed? And they maintain that they didn't want to trade him. Now, the fact of the matter is, baby, with free agency being, free agency being after the draft in the NBA, I think it's after the draft. I mean, maybe they feel like they couldn't find nobody. Maybe they feel like they couldn't find nobody to fill that void already. You had already dumped Isaiah Stewart, which apparently he did a video talking about, or he did an interview talking about he couldn't. I did a video already on it. He already did an interview talking about he couldn't wait to get traded. He prayed to get traded. Him and his wife prayed for him to get him out of Detroit. So that, I mean, right then and there, so he didn't want to be here, and now we had a situation where, you got to understand from the standpoint of view of Duren, is that they told me to go out there and prove it. I asked for the 30 ball last year. They told me, what, go out there and prove it. Maybe they could have got him for 25 last year. Maybe that was the sticking point. And now they was like, go prove it. And he proved it, and they told him, the NBA told him, thinking about it from this perspective, the NBA told him that he made all NBA third team. Like it or not, you go back, well, Halliburton wasn't there, and this guy. And what I don't like is how the NBA has continued to push a narrative of positionless basketball, right? Because what's so funny is now that we're going around saying that basketball is positionless, right? We're going around saying that, but now all of a sudden, then you got people trying to see it the way of position basketball. Well, saying, well, John Collins is really a small forward, or Trey Murphy ain't really a power forward. He's really a shooting guard, which he's not. But people just basically going off physical stature. If we being honest, Aaron Gordon is probably really a small forward going back in the days. You know what I'm saying? So we starting to kind of really have these kind of conversations where now people trying to take it like basketball is about size and speed, and it's really not. It's not as much as about size as it once was in previous, in previous generations. So, so I, and what I'm pretty much meant by the whole thing is how they kind of took the center out the award category. I didn't like that. How they took the center out of basketball, like out of this award. No, it should be a center on every all NBA second and third team. All this whole thing where we going out there with 4 guards on all NBA. Even in the All-Star game, even when before they reformatted, which I don't really, that should let you know we got a problem with people don't even want to compete for the fans, right? Even before they reformatted, they out there with 4 wings and somewhat that look like a center. No, that's the problem. Nobody want to play their gender roles in the real world, and nobody want to play their position roles in basketball. Everybody want to be something that they wasn't built to be. You got centers and big fellas wanting to be guards. No matter if you're a center or guard, you ain't gonna never be Kobe. You ain't gonna be as popular as Allen Iverson. You ain't gonna be as popular as LeBron James. In the history of basketball, there has never been a big fella that's outshined the guard. It's just never, even at Shaq's pinnacle. Even at Shaq, and I'm about to put on the screen the update. Give me a minute. Even at Shaq's pinnacle, he never really outshined Penny. Penny had the better shoe. That was kind of part of the jealousy. Penny had the better shoe. He really never outshined Kobe for real. He just admitted on one of the interviews that he didn't. Kobe he didn't get as much love from the Laker fans as Kobe did. That's just the way it is. When you 7 foot and you one of the big fellas like that, you ain't gonna outshine. You ain't gonna outshine these guards, bro. It's a guards game, bro. It really is. But here we go. So it says no clear suitor shot to everything Pistons. No clear suitor besides the Detroit Pistons for Jalen Duren as of right now via ESPN. At this point in the offseason, there are no teams with cap space to sign Jalen Duren to a 45-plus contract. Main contract is what he's looking for. The Pistons and Duren would need to find middle ground to make the deal work. It's already August and still no extension. So, obviously, it's not even about having cap space because you just going to straight trade player for player. Now, the Pistons can go and say, well, if we're going to get rid of him, we need a center. And it ain't that many centers walking around now. Especially once you done gave up Isaiah Stewart to kind of help fill that back end void. But in general, if you were to make a particular deal, then you would have to make probably a hockey deal or hockey assist deal where you try to go out there and try to take some of these pieces that you got and get a center, whether it's Clint Capella, Steven Adams, maybe you go to one of these lesser teams and try to get a center off of them. But the one thing about it is you got to ask yourself, in what category does Jalen Duren really shine? The one category he really shines in is he's an elite athlete for his position and his potential. You can see the way kind of he can handle the ball, he can pass the ball. You can see kind of the jump shot, kind of the mechanics look pretty comfortable. So kind of when you start kind of zero in on some of the things that he can do or potentially can do. It's hard to find that in the league. Now everybody gonna say, well, he need to shoot the ball. I think it's more about a focus when you got a guy like him. He need to really master, being like Patrick Ewing, master being consistent. Like 19 and 10, that's a good start for what a third-year player, fourth year player. But we need really, he could be 25 and 13. The consistency now, trying to string those consistent games together. But people are gonna point to the playoffs, and that's fair game. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody, everybody gotta crawl before they walk. And I get it, y'all be like, oh, they gave him this much $1 million. He better start off running. But it's always a process. It's always a process to it. So, I mean, he ain't got nowhere to go. But like I said, I'm not one of these people that say what he should and shouldn't deserve as far as getting to his money. I get it. If I was entitled to $50 million a year, whatever it may be, guess what? I'm gonna want the whole 50. But where's no suitors out there, the reason why there is no real suitors out there, even at this point, we know the answer to why it's no real suitors. There's no real suitors out there because the Pistons haven't made him available. That's it. The King said we got Sabonis, which in general, some people may not think that's a bad move. He just ain't never available. So that's the issue. But ultimately we don't know what Jalen Duren can fetch on the open market. That's the problem. We don't know what he can fetch on the open market. So in general, it always Trajan Langdon's legacy is gonna boil down. It's gonna boil down to a couple things, y'all, bro. It's gonna boil down to a couple things, man. His legacy is truly going to boil down to the 2026 trade deadline, and it's going to boil down to the 2027 trade deadline. And that's it. When you look at it, that's what his legacy is going to get to. 2026, 2027 trade deadline. Okay. So, I mean, ultimately, I know it's hard to have suitors when you have a team that's not willing to deal you. But I'm of the belief, and I'm a hard believer in this, and I understand why the Pistons can't really be a hard believer. If you don't want to be here, man, you can get the hell on. You can get the hell on, bro. If you don't want to be here, you can get on, man. I hate people that try to convince people to stay. And the Pistons, if he don't want to be here, bro, I'd have been dumped this motherfucker to keep it a being with you. But they should have had this figured out. Well, they must have already figured out that Isaiah Stewart didn't want to be here. They already had that figured out. And I continue to say this, and I'm not even going to speak too much longer on this subject. But I continue to say this time and time again. I don't think Trajan Langdon really wanted him here. I don't think Trajan Langdon was really a fan of him, because for the last couple seasons, going into this offseason, before this offseason, we heard them that Trajan been here. We heard them kind of like, we kind of heard them be associated with Vujovic, Miles Turner. Remember, we was like, damn, I was like, what they gonna do with Stewart then? So they already been trying to kick his ass out the door. And I want to highlight something in this Beef Stew article that he did. I read it. You can read it on ANDscape, like SCAPE.com. We put Isaiah Stewart in the news and go to the news tab on Google. It'll take you to it. But he said something very, 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 very. It was two things that he said in this article, and I'm about to hit the blunt twice, which lanes. No, I don't smoke. I just said that because Jeezy said it. But I want to zoom in a couple things. See, this is why it's always important to read. Reading don't really give you the gist of how can I say it? It don't really give you the gist of like where you can see the body language to see if it's kind of how serious but it kind of give you more clarity on somebody saying something, especially if the quote is right. So he said, this is Stewart. I have just so much love for the city of Detroit. Stewart said, they welcome you with open arms. Coming in at 19, instantly went to the community naturally, blah, blah, blah. Stewart said he's still close to former Pistons general manager Troy Weaver, who was fired in 2014, now works with the New Orleans Pelicans. So he said he's still close with him, right? It says Weaver was replaced by Trajan Langdon, who was named the Pistons president of basketball operations. Stewart said Langdon told him during their first meeting in summer of 2024 that he could be a trade candidate. So right then and there, some people can't handle the truth, and sometimes you say the truth to somebody, they never get over it. They never get over it. And the truth was, Trajan was transparent with him. He was transparent with him. He told him straight up, "Hey, bro, I don't want you. I don't basically want you. I might trade your ass for the right trade." So his loyalty was to Troy Weaver, a guy that picked him, was probably patient with him. And then you get Trajan Langdon. I bring y'all could let me know if I'm wrong. Right around Trajan Langdon came in, he went to the bench, and Stewart don't have the condition or the durability to be a starter. But I say all this to say that say this right here. Just some of the rumors that they had about Jalen Duren, the rumors that was out there about him, they was always obsessed with Vujovic and Miles Turner stretch fives. I don't really think he was Trajan Langdon guy. I don't think he was Trajan Langdon guy. That's just my personal opinion on it. I don't think he was Trajan Langdon's guy. Y'all can tell me if I'm wrong. I'm a little off. I don't think he was this guy. And I think, I'm not saying they had a similar conversation, but if they did have a similar conversation, or Jalen Duren felt the same way because he was picked by Troy Weaver, if he felt the same way, then I gotta tax you because I really don't fuck with you like that. You've been trying to knock me off my pivot. I was willing to do this $30 million last year for you. Now, I made all NBA third team. I had 19 and 10. I didn't show up the last two playoffs, and you heard what Beef Stew said about him not showing the last two playoff spots. He said that it was just the playoffs. So, but I'll read this quote real quick. I'll put it back on the screen. I'll read this quote real quick so y'all understand. He said something similar on ESPN or to one of the reporters. He said it's tricky, but Duren proved his worth. What he's asking for to the organization. If you ask me, Stewart said they act like they wanted him to prove it before the season. I felt he proved it. He was an all-star, third team all NBA. I feel like he should get paid. He's a huge piece of the core. Bring him back. He's been getting better every year. Third year all-star. Like, come on, give him the bag. But at the same time, I hope it works out, and I hope he gets his money at the end of the day. Now, on ESPN, he said that, he feel like they just looking at Duren, paraphrasing what the reporter said, they just looking at what he didn't do in the playoffs and not weighing what he did in the regular season. So that's pretty much saying like the playoffs was just a small portion of what I did, but look at what I did in the regular season. So he's trying to like minimize the playoff shortcomings. So I mean, everybody want to see it that way. Everybody want to see it that way, but in general, to his defense, he ain't fuck with me. I'm telling you, there ain't no other way I can say it. He ain't fuck with me like that. If I didn't perform this year, I probably would have got traded, or I probably wouldn't be here. So since back then you ain't want me, now I'm hot. Now I'm hot. Y'all got to pay me. Y'all got to pay me. Y'all made me lay on my knuckles last year. Y'all got to pay me. You got to pay me for my pain and my suffering. Juwan Buchanan Duren at this point ain't getting what he want. Time to come back to Detroit for another year player. It's gonna be more than another year. So now we know why Reese dumped him. Well, hey, gotta ask her. No one's paying him 40 plus. Well, Sacramento was willing to do it. Now we don't know what the Lakers was willing to pay him. So that's a great question. What were the Lakers willing to pay him? So that's what I want to know. What was the Lakers willing to pay him? Were they will like that's my thing. That's what the transparency. It was made it seem like Sacramento was willing to pay him whatever the max they can give him, 40, 45 for 4. It seemed like Sacramento was willing to pay him, right? Now, were the Lakers willing to pay him the 40, 45, or was it like I'm gonna take a little less because it's LA, and that's insane. Well, I can understand why one could take less in LA because maybe you can make it up in endorsement, but living in LA, the taxes is crazy in LA. What you get taxed in LA is insane. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, what you get taxed in LA is insane. That's a fact. What they, and then the cost of living in LA is insane. Especially so you really gonna take a less money to go to LA? where your money not gonna stretch as long. So I don't know if I can see that, bro. Him going to LA for less money, but I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe he was willing to just get the fuck out of Detroit and take less money in LA. Now Penny, his coach, ex-coach Penny Hardaway, said his heart is here. So I mean, that's to him. He said in Holland's development. I mean, yeah, you know, we get there. He said I come in to the Mike Jones league. Yeah, he did it. He doing interviews on he got an interview on Art of Dialogue. It's pretty good. He said going to see the Mystics, need to get my hoops fixed on. Yeah, you down bad, buddy. Going to see the Mystics, nigga. We used to drink Mystics back in the night. Remember they said the Mystics in the glass bottle? Yeah, I don't watch no WNBA. I kind of tried to watch it here and there when Caitlin Clark was on top, like she was scared of the drop. I can't watch it, bro. I don't have the time either. They let him test the market and no one offered. Yeah, they did. I think Sacramento offered it to him. So that's a lie. They just refused to trade him to Sacramento because they ain't want Sabonis. Now, yeah. And I'm assuming, what did Walker Kessler get? Let's see. Let me see. That's Benjamin Foe homeboy. Let's see what he got real quick. I think he only played like 30 so he got 129. So his average salary is 3.3. So $33.3 million, right? And that's insane, right? To be honest. If you Jalen Duren and he getting $33.3 million a year, and he averaged, check this out, he played 5 games last year, bro. Averaged 14.4, 10.8 rebounds, 3 assists, 70% from the field, 75%. Remember, I said 3 games, right? So in the previous year, he played 58 games. He averaged 11 points and 12 rebounds. He shot he really didn't shoot threes like that. So other years he was, you know, he didn't do much, and he got $33.3 million on average. And if you Jalen Duren and this Walker Kessler ain't really did shit. Remember, this is 5 games last year. He ain't did shit. Hey, bro, if he getting 33.3, nigga, I'm at least worth 45. Real spill. I'm at least worth 45. If he getting 33 million a year and he ain't did shizit, but make the 2022-2023 All NBA team and All Rookie team, and that's because they ain't have enough ninjas to make the to put on the team, right, bro? I want my 45. If he getting 33.3 million, I want my 45. But hey, that's just me speaking, right? That's just me speaking, right? All right. So we got some other things going on, so we're gonna go right into this. Well, I'm gonna give me a minute. I gotta go put my clothes in the dryer. I don't want ninjas complaining, so give me a minute and put the clothes in the dryer. We're gonna come right back and we're gonna talk about Davion Mitchell locking up Cade, and we're gonna finish off with some Lions. All right, my bad. So had to run there. So yeah, Cade Cunningham getting locked up by um Davion Mitchell is the narrative. Now, I mean, I'll let y'all be the judge of it, right? And we all got some other good stuff coming out of it. And let me kind of give y'all like this is such a why this is such a why this is so important for Davion Mitchell. Now, Davion Mitchell, guard, I think he was out of Baylor. He was drafted to Sacramento. You know, went to Miami. I think he a perfect fit for what they do in Miami. And he pretty much is somebody they're gonna be relying on in Miami. He was an elite defender like his whole career. In college, he was elite. In the NBA, he's been elite. And I've said it before. Miami got four of the best individual defenders. They have the best four individual defenders in basketball. I don't care who you put in as fifth. They got the best individual starting five defensively. I mean, you look at Davion Mitchell, lockup. Giannis, good defender. He's about the worst defender they got. Andrew Wiggins, elite defender. Bam Adebayo, elite defender. Now, their whole thing is they need to find some scoring, okay? If they find some perimeter scoring, it's over with. But so this is the video they say he locking up Cade Cunningham. All right, so let's go. All right, playing music. I cut that off. So here we go. So this is the video. So I mean, that like a good shot. He just missed it. Y'all boy Asar. He defending Asar. This should be self-check. No disrespect. So, oh, that's good defense. Oop. Oh, that's good defense. McKay still got to a spot, you know. So these couple highlights they talking about that, you know, he was locking Cade up. In the highlight, we don't know, but in general, he's one of the more elite. He's probably one of the more elite on the ball defenders in the NBA. I mean, you know, got crossed up. I mean, he did great recovery. And that's kind of the narrative that's pretty much going around is that, you know, oh, he locked them up, and you know, he locked them up, and in Miami, they need him to take a huge step. You know, I don't know why they just won't get you. They give you everything but the comments. So I'm trying to get to the comments. So you can so for whatever reason, I was trying to get to the comments of that video, but let me see if I can get there. But there we go. So Cade was just playing around, locking up Cade. So Cade against Miami last year. So Davion Mitchell was in a starting lineup. He averaged 28, 9.7, 4.3 rebounds. He just missed some contested shots he normally makes. Not even going off this video, I'm generally not as moved as Cade on Cade as others. He's a winning player for sure, but turning over prone, he can be so inefficient. They kill me with this inefficient shit, bro. I just hate this shit. Oh, he's efficient, he's inefficient. You know, that shit kind of irritating to me, bro. When you the only offense in the starting five, what do you expect? Allen Iverson was the only motherfucking Philly that could score. Y'all be so, oh, he's so inefficient. And like, no, if it all comes down to me to score, I'm not going to be efficient. But this is the same generation that talk about efficiency, but live and die by the three ball. That the way they shoot threes in this era, that's not efficient. So it's so funny where they draw the efficient and the analytical gun line. It's always crazy to me because then we'll be talking about how in general, almost in 95% of NBA teams, there's four wings out there and somewhat that look like a center. But then they tell you, oh, Ron Hollins can't play the power forward position because Apollo Barencho is too big. Okay, but you're switching everything. What does it fucking matter if you switching everything? What does it matter? And B, if Paolo don't play with his back to this basket as much as he should, it doesn't even matter. If he's going to dribble at the perimeter and take step backs and pull up jumpers, it doesn't. All Ron got to do is stay in front of him. That's it. It doesn't. Like I said before, they try to make these fluid arguments when they don't make sense. Oh, we're efficient basketball. We're efficiency. It's unethical. Okay, it's unethical to take 40 or 53s. And when in parts of in a lot of the seasons in the 80s, they averaged just as many points as y'all, and they took two threes a game per. Well, 4-3. They may even took 4 threes a game between the two teams, and they averaged just as many points when they can hand check, when they can foul, when it wasn't no flex. So when you started to really dig into basketball, it's a lot of people who got microphones who really speaking on basketball, and they have no idea, bro. Because you can't speak on today's era in basketball and say, oh, it's the best, and you have no historical reference points. You can't historically reference anything. You didn't see anything. Oh, the basketball players yesterday were so limited with dribbling. No, it's because they allow y'all to travel today. Like everything that you see, even the Allen Iverson crossover that they banned, that's a carry. They travel up and down the court all day. You know what I mean? When you someone travel 3 steps, 4 steps to a layup, even when they crossing over, they palming, they carrying, they flat. Like I said before, it's not limitations. They're just changing the rules. They're literally changing them. When Allen Iverson rock Michael Jordan, go look at ESPN cover that after he rocked Michael Jordan. Scottie Pippen, they said, well, they allow him to carry the ball so high per snitching, but per truth. A lot of the things they get away from today, they look at it today. They try to look at it from an analytical, ethical, efficient standpoint of view, but it doesn't make any sense when your game is inefficient, when you shoot 1,000 threes, when you don't have any fundamentals, when basic big fellas can't do a drop step, turn over their left shoulder and shoot a baby hook. The average guards can't dribble. And then when you look at it, you talking about usage rate. Who got a higher usage rate than Cade Cunningham? And again, it can't be too many, because in Oklahoma City Thunder, Shea can get that ball up to Jalen. You know what I'm saying? In New York, he can get that ball up to Cat. Cat might be one of the most talented players in basketball. You know what I'm saying? So even when you get Washington, Trey can give it up to AD or DeBaston, and they got a bunch of young, really good players over there. When you look at Cade and that starting lineup, who's the threat? Who's the other threat? I'm talking about last year. Who's really a threat? Who you trust to get the ball? Asar can handle the ball, but guess what? When they don't respect your jumper, can you really facilitate? Everybody gonna stay home on their man. So how can you really facilitate? They daring you to shoot the ball. They daring you to attack the basket. You know what I mean? So it's funny when they had these blanket basketball debates, because they're not honest. It's just like, I'm gonna go ethical, I'm gonna go non-ethical, I'm gonna go old school. It's basically whenever the narrative fits them, that's what they're gonna rock with. Whatever the narrative that fits them, that's what they're gonna rock with. The argument is just not set in stone. It's whatever they feel comfortable with. You know what I mean? So, this is pretty much exciting. Give me a minute. So I think this is something that y'all want to see before we switch over to talking about Lions. I think this is something that a lot of y'all would love to see right here. So,
Ice up, Cal. Shoot by yourself. That's our stay up, man. Ice up, Cal. Shoot by yourself. That's our stay up, man.
And I think that's what y'all want to see. Y'all want to see Asar Thompson. This is what you want to work on. Take the mid-range jumper. That's it. If he can do that, that'd be fine. If he can do that, that'd be fine. And that's what you want to see him working. How comfortable he was off the dribble, just how comfortable he is. And believe it or not, and some people will test this, and some people want to test this. Believe it or not, probably shooting off the dribble is more easier than catching and shooting. If you can handle the ball like Asar Thompson, when you do something off the dribble, it to me, and you can kind of tell me if it's not when you hooped, or if you hooped, or you don't believe this, or you believe it's not to be true or true. When you do something off the dribble, it seems like your shooting mechanics fall in place a lot more. It's more muscle memory when you shoot. Now, when you catch and shoot, I guess because you think like in a situation, you thinking about it. But when you do something off the dribble, or if you do it off the dribble, or you do a turnaround, a jump shot, it just seems like your shooting mechanics fall into place a lot better. You know what I'm saying? It feel like your shooting mechanics fall into place and a lot better. So I think off the dribble is probably best for him right now, because look how he can just everything just fall into place. From the elbow to squaring up, to the feet, to the wrist. That's probably literally what's best for that brother. You know, and catching and shooting is a little bit different. You know, everybody think that's like the easiest thing to do, but once you catch and shoot, you still worry about mechanics. When you do something off the dribble, your mechanics just falling in place because you're not really thinking about it, because you're just doing it. When you catch and shoot, it's time to think. So, you know, it's good to see him doing something off the dribble, but to be honest with you, that'll help a lot. But in general, they're going to need him to catch and shoot. I think catching and shooting from the corner, catching and shooting from the wing, but also I think what comes after the catch and shoot for him, honestly, is the pump and drive. You know, pump and drive, the floater. I think all those things, because you got to understand when people start playing Asar for the corner three, and he start knocking down the corner three. The next step is gonna be, now they're gonna try to run at you. And now you just pump and just take 2 or 3 steps in and shoot the jumper, or you attack the rim. But if he can hit that midi, I mean, that's what you really want. Because they sagging under the elbow on him, you know. So you really just thinking about a push shot, a floater, a midi, and then eventually you want the mechanics to go outside. So eventually it's nothing he really can't do but shoot and finish at the rim. You know, that's it. It's just doing, and I just think it's confidence. And in-game shooting is a lot different than shooting in the gym by yourself. So, you know, what I really like about this dude is Torian Prince. You know, I think he may be a my bad. Y'all couldn't even see that. I apologize to y'all. Y'all couldn't even see this shit. So let me play this again.
2-1.
My bad. Slipping on my pimp.
Right. Now, watch out. Stop. 2-1.
Is that Boozer's son right there? I think that might be Boozer's son. Looks like one of them.
Good shot, boy. 1, 3. That's a tough one. 4-3, shot 2. 4-3.
Hey, that's Boozer's son. That motherfucking getting a welcome to his NBA moment. You're not about to tell me that what Harden was doing was easier than Clay doing catch. Yeah, I mean, let me say this. If you watch James Harden, I'm glad you brought that up. If you watch James Harden in 3-point shooting contest, that motherfucker ass. That motherfucker ass. When they asked James Harden to sit at that rack and just shoot off the rack, he's a scorer. He's a rhythm scorer. But I think for him, what he doing off the rhythm is better for him because it gets his shooting mechanics in order. You kind of see what I'm saying? It gets his shooting mechanics in order. Like when some people are able just are better scorers than shooters. It depends on the player. Some people are better scorers than shooters. Kind of feel me? Kind of see what I'm saying? Because you got some people like Clay that's just great at catching and shooting. But then you got some people that's just better off the bounce. So it just really depends on the player. But I think for Asar Thompson, he just might be one of those guys that maybe just better off the bounce. So it's not about what's easier, it's better what's best for the particular player. So for Clay, great catch and shoot guy. Say what you want to say, but if you put Harden in those same situations, he not a great catch and shoot guy. Now, if you let Harden get into rhythm scoring, then he probably can heat it up. But in general, for Clay's a better catch and shoot. Harden is better off the score. Watch Harden at 3-point shootout. He's more scorer than shooter. This is all it is. But I think for Asar Thompson, he just may be more naturally a scorer than a shooter. That might be where his bacon is made at. That's just my observation. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's just my observation. But we about to wrap this Piston shit up. So I'm gonna read some comments I missed while I was gone. Hold on. He said they let him test the market. He did. He got offered the money. I said that already. LA is a great. I feel like people like LA, but you know, a lot of motherfuckers like LA so much they live under a bridge. They live under the freeway. So yeah, I heard. But it's not for everybody, you know. But it definitely the food be banging. But for me personally, if anybody that fuck with the red states like that, open carry, that's not as liberal, you don't want to be in California, bro. Real talk, you don't want to be in California, bro. Bolt action, you gotta have bolt action gun. You would like to visit there. Then most of the women selling pussy, they devil dandruff sniffers and shit like that. Most of the women out there sniffing the devil's dandruff, selling coochie in the LA Hollywood nightlife. Yeah, it's cool. Food is fire. Weed, if you smoke weed, I don't smoke weed, but weed is fire. Amenities is fire. That's why the sports crowd be so lame. There's so much shit to do. But the average person love going to California, especially if you got your paper right and you ain't got to worry about dealing with no niggertry. You know what I'm saying? Like you love it. But if you start talking about marriage and firearms and the cost of living, or you just talking about properties and all that type of stuff, most niggas gonna prefer like being in Dallas and Houston, Phoenix. Most Californians, left there. But yeah, life is great out there. He said if they both offered 40, wasn't Detroit? Yeah, I mean, yeah. I see what you're saying. They can match it. Yeah, they can match it. But they couldn't. They had to do a sign and trade. That was the thing. The Pistons did a sign and trade. They would have to do the sign and trade. It would have to be a sign and trade, and they didn't want Sabonis. I think we're better with Levine and Gafford. They want a first-round draft pick for Gafford, which is wild. Which I mean, I don't know. I guess that's not as bad as it used to be. But I'm like, Walker Kessler turned out 120 from the Jazz. The Lakers gave him more. Okay, I mean, maybe he want to be in Utah. Y'all know that's where John Collins was from. He's from Utah. I want to say Salt Lake. Duren just don't have the instincts and passion. I don't want to say he ain't got the passion, bro. I don't want to say he ain't got the passion. I can't even say he don't have the instincts, bro. It's just, I mean, I don't say that, bro. He definitely got the passion. Kessler, now if you say, the toughness or the heart, I mean, I can't let the playoffs, hopefully he don't let that define. I don't let it define. I like the kid. I liked him from day one. Kessler would be a good fit in Detroit. Well, he in LA now. I saw that video on X. It's okay. He said he did not lock him up at all. Cade was just, I mean, Davion Mitchell is a great, Alex salute. Davion Mitchell is a great player, though. He's a great defender. I mean, he'd be perfect. He'd be perfect in Detroit. Asar doing hot sauce and N1 mixtapes. Man, that was it, man. Remember they had the video game, bro? Oh, man, that was the life back in the day. I think we program ourselves to shoot off the dribble shot clock. Yeah, I think I'd agree with you on that one. I think we do. But, some people I just think he just seemed like a more natural scorer. it's been like that since back in the day. It was called the NBA since 49, but pre-1949 basketball was a different style, very physical. I remember when my man got kicked out the league when he knocked out the Lakers and Rockets coach. Kermit, what was his name? Kermit, damn, what was my motherfucker name? Kermit Washington. When he man, bro, it was the most brutalest knockout you'll see in and outside the combat sports. He splattered Rudy Tomjanovich's nose. He broke his nose. It was blood all over the arena. He got kicked out the league for that shit. Kermit Washington, I think his name was. Just put Rudy Tomjanovich get his nose get punched. Ibuka has deadly. Yeah, I mean, some people just natural. Some people just got a natural ability, bro. Nowadays, analytics have killed all sports in general. Yeah, it is. How about history and yeah, it's killed it. You let nerds into basketball. That's why you got low management. You know, that's the only stain on Greg Popovich's resume. If finesse ball ruined for me, just viewpoints today. Yeah, I mean, you could say finesse ball came into play because Kevin Garnett, Dirk Nowitzki, you can blame them. Terry Mills, Bill Laimbeer shooting the ball a little bit more, Sam Perkins. Real talk. Facts. You can go to them wanting to shoot the ball. But KG and Dirk Nowitzki, you could blame Sir Charles too. You know, Sir Charles made a lot of niggas believe they can do that shit. Tom Chambers dunking on motherfuckers and shit. Yeah, I mean, in general, you want to be the guards get all the love, bro. He said, okay, I read that one. He said, Torian Prince is my favorite role player on the team. Hope Chasanier about to shock some niggas this year, bro. Don't be surprised if he don't start. Chasanier about to shock some niggas, man. Too good not to be on the floor. Too good. We about to get some Lions, though. Facts on LA. So, yeah, LA cool. If your paper right, if your bitch love you like that, don't take your bitch out there. Hey, they don't really fuck with the black girls like that out there, though. I mean, they make a bunch of videos about it. I don't know, but I met a couple chicks out from the Bay when I was in school in LA. Like LA people are cool. They real cool ass people, bro. They real cool. Really, to be honest with you, the only people I never really got along with was niggas from the East Side, inside Detroit. I fuck with Flint. Used to go to basketball camp in Toledo. I fuck with Toledo. When I lived in the Gump, my niggas in the 4-6, Tuskegee, my Jacksonville niggas, Duval, my Orlando niggas, my Tampa niggas, my Miami niggas, New Orleans, Texas, always, New York niggas. Like when I go to New York, yeah, just something about the niggas from the East Side when I was growing up. I don't know what's wrong with y'all niggas, man. Niggas on the East Side of Detroit a little bit different. I fuck with them though, but y'all niggas just a little wired, a little bit different. Niggas on the East Side a little wired, a little bit different though. I don't know if it's a little bit different. Now, only motherfucker I really got it with on the East Side was my nigga named Phillip, though. We used to hoop together. My nigga Phillip was cool. His mama was fine as hell too. My nigga Phillip was cool. But yeah. But shout out to Keith Apple. I'll take that back. A couple other niggas I was cool with. They hooped over with Persian. They hooped with Keith and them. It was cool. Niggas always trying to hit licks and shit though. Boozer got to work. Yeah, I mean shit, that's gonna come. Boozer boy can play. He didn't take me long to see that. The boys are in hometown. But yeah, Detroit East Side rap going crazy though. Them niggas, oh boy, them niggas going crazy, bro. Them rapping ass niggas on the East Side, man, they going crazy. They should all do an album together. The whole city of Detroit, all them niggas should rap together because they bringing the city up because they rapping with each other. They working with each other. Lions played third. I didn't have no idea it's playing Thursday. I've been in the blender. I've been on all 12s. Teddy Bridgewater, yeah, Teddy Bridgewater. Shout out to Teddy, bro. They got rid of Teddy because he was helping. He was paying for the kids to have an even playing field. That was so fucked up, bro. When he was coaching, said it was illegal or some shit, man. Bro, please. When I was growing up, man, it's Catholic school leagues. They had all cold plunges. They had cold plunges. They had they had cold plunges. They had all these amenities, bro, that the regular kids didn't have. They had nice they had nice everything. It was a competitive disadvantage. They played together, all that type of stuff. So I don't know what really happened with Teddy Bridgewater, but I'll start off with Lion Talk there, and then we kind of wrap it up talk about Gibbs. We'll talk about Gibbs. And we're gonna talk about what Lane Johnson said. Niggas. But let's go.
Is going to he's going to step away. So, I've known Teddy a long time, and man, the human being is unbelievable. Certainly, the player, everything that he's about, the type of teammate he is, the way he prepares, always played the game up here, and had a huge heart. He's going to be missed. So, I'll never forget 2019 when Drew got injured. We had just gone out to the Rams, got beat out there, and Drew, got his thumb, and we lost him for 5 weeks. And Teddy stepped in. We won 5 in a row, man. And that was Teddy. And then just his time being with us meant a lot, and it meant a lot to our guys. So he's going to be missed. Teddy Bridgewater.
All right, man. Got rid of Teddy. I mean, I don't know why he's stepping away. Personal feelings, personal family stuff. I can't really call it with Teddy. But Teddy stepping away. I know they had that other kid from Illinois. I heard he balling. So I don't know if they're going to roll with 3 quarterbacks or put that kid on the practice squad and sign another veteran quarterback. But Teddy had a nice deep ball to Dominic Lovett. He was a receiver that was making a lot of noise. I think he was drafted late last year. He was drafted late last year, 6th round out of Georgia. So yeah, man, it's hate to see Teddy go, man. Teddy did a lot of good stuff down there with the kids, and maybe he go back into coaching. Maybe he didn't want to be that far away from home, but maybe it's just time to go. Maybe Lions make a run and need a backup quarterback. There go holler at old Teddy, but yeah, man, that's kind of messed up right there. I like Teddy Bridgewater. Came back from that nasty leg injury, liked him at Louisville, did a lot of good things, man, there. So, yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs got his chili. That's a good little talking point right there. Jahmyr Gibbs got his chili, man, and, I'm just going to harp on this for 1 minute. He got his chili, and, Dan Campbell, he spoke on that a little bit too. So, Jahmyr got his chili. Let's go.
I think that'll always be there, but I mean, we're going to push him. We're going to push him because we think this kid can be one of the best, if not the best. So we're going to push him to get there. We're going to see what he's got now. I'm glad we got Pacheco, and he's going to very much be a part of what we have. But we need to see where we can take Gibbs now. We've only scratched the surface of him.
Translation, we gave this dude all this damn money. We about to run his ass into the ground. We gave him all this money. Yeah, we gonna sprinkle Pacheco in there. We gave him all this money. We about to run that ass into the ground. We about to get the most out the lesser. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. Hopefully gives up for the challenge. My upset, man, my biggest upset this offseason. I'm gonna say this. Y'all ain't gonna believe it when I say it. Why am I so upset is that Sonoy Vaki got injured again. I'm like, bro, Sonoy Vaki was supposed to replace David Montgomery. You know what I mean? And he just wasn't supposed to be no special teams player. They were supposed to replace Sonoy Vaki, bro. So that didn't happen. That didn't happen, and it is what it is, bro. But yeah, Gibbs, I'm happy he got his money. I knew he'd get his money. Everybody's reading a little bit too much into the Brad Holmes. Brett, when you negotiate, you don't get too much. I knew he was going to be there because he didn't hold out. He was around in practice. He just didn't spat up and pad up and none of that stuff. So, yeah, man, I knew he was going to be there, bro. So, they paid him. And now it's time to, get their motherfucking roll on, as the big timers would say. And we see what Drew Petsky can do, with him. Do with them, bro. Now we want to see what Drew Petsky really can cook up. Really ain't heard too many bad things about Petsky this offseason, but we did hear kind of like it seemed like they was kind of pushing the narrative. They were pushing the narrative about, trying to make it seem like John Morton, was such a great offensive coordinator last year. And, I kind of picked up on his obsession with explosive plays. He had a lot of obsession with explosive plays. You know what I mean? And it's just like, okay, bro, okay, what about the other stuff? And obviously, you know, if you listen to the end of the season wrap up press conference that that uh that Brad Holmes had, he was just saying that they needed more leadership. They basically need somebody to know what they was doing, somebody that was more punctual, more organized, you know, and that's what he said. That's what he said. So now they, you know, and when you hear what they say they needed out of that position, you know, they just let you know everything that you know John Morton wasn't, and they wasn't even willing to work with John Morton to see if he can get there.
Jared, you're on your third offense coordinator in the last 3 years. So we want to ask you about Drew and just what you like, how easy it has been to adapt, how much of it is your experience in this league and kind of building this offense.
No, what happened?
Right now with a lot of these guys that we're talking about here.
Yeah. I think the best thing he's done so far is build something tailored to the guys we have. And I think that's difficult coming from another building, something you did somewhere else. Does it fit for us or not? It may be something he loves, and if it doesn't fit for us, he won't do it. And I think that's been the best part is him learning that about us. And then at the same time, there are some things that he does love that we need to learn how to do better. And it's a great blend. And he's been awesome. His teachings have been awesome. The way he holds you guys accountable has been awesome. His leadership ability, all of that, it's been great.
So like I said, you know, everything that they was looking for in the offensive coordinator, leadership, accountability, you know, flexibility, or the ability to be flexible in what they do well and what he likes to do well. Just the leadership, accountability, and it just seemed like you know, that's what they was looking for. And you know, a lot of people was beating on the desk for Mike McDaniels, but you had to just really listen to what Brad Holmes and what Dan Campbell was kind of saying about John Morton. McDaniels didn't really fit what they like, what they needed. When you start talking about physicality, leadership ability, all these things was questioning about Mike McDaniels when he was in Miami. That's, you know, look what he allowing Justin Herbert to do. He allowing Justin Herbert to have a whole picnic with his bitch on you know, with his bitch on during training camp. You think Dan Campbell will let Jared Goff be caked up with his hoe? No, excuse me, with his wife. My bad. On the sideline, like hell no. McDaniels didn't fit, and I was just trying to tell y'all why he didn't fit. But people just look at the name. Oh, McDaniels would have been, but no. McDaniels had several seasons or a few seasons in Miami to figure out that I got to go outside the New England into the Jets, into which is one of the most bizarre divisions in basketball football, to be honest with you. But what's the other one? It's the they got to go out to New York, to the Jets outside in the fucking cold, Buffalo in the cold, and New England in the cold. And if your team in Miami ain't built physically to be physical, you ain't gonna do nothing with them, bruh. You ain't got a best chance in hell to beat them. So he just didn't have the physical mentality that it took the need to be in Detroit, you know. And I think now with Drew Petzing, they got the physical mentality, bro. I keep telling y'all that. Now they ready. They're ready, you know. So people say he like to run heavy personnel sets, and the Lions got 3 receivers, and this, man, you find a way. You can be heavy. You can run a multiple offense. You can run an offense in which you can be heavy. You can run an offense in which you can go 5 wide receivers all within the same season, bro. You know, it's just sometimes you see Ben Johnson go heavy. Sometimes you will see Ben Johnson spread it out. You know, that's what I like that they talk about. This guy is going to tailor make the offense. He's going to tailor make this offense each week based on the defenses that they playing, and that's something that Ben Johnson did. And the thing is like, well, Ben Johnson, they're just trying to pinch off the Ben Johnson tree. I think they took the best guy available for what they needed. That's it. They took the best guy available for what the Detroit Lions needed. Physical, structured, multiple offense. I mean, I don't know what more do y'all want? But he wasn't a name, and if you're not a name, people don't think, you know, you're any good. So I don't really get caught up in names, because at one point Ben Johnson wasn't a name. That's just the fact of the matter. So I'm gonna end off with this one. So apparently most people feel like this was shots fired by Eagles tackle Lane Johnson. And also this is something that somebody said this last year about Penei Sewell. I think it was a former Packer. Can't remember.
Yeah, and so man, with rankings and stuff, I take offense to some of it. I mean, I see guys that gave up a lot of quarterback hits last year, fucking in the Pro Bowl, All Pros, and I'm like, I've seen a lot of All Pros in the past, and usually they have a flawless performance in the pass game as long as in the run game. And so I don't know if standards are being lower or perception or analytics are getting in the way, but there's also film, and so some of these guys, I don't think it's all what it's meant to be.
So a lot of people said that he talked about Penei Sewell, that, I think Sewell gave up 1 sack or 2 sacks last year, but then he's saying he giving up a bunch of quarterback sacks. And it was funny, I was having a conversation with somebody a couple months ago in the gym, and they were saying that the reason why that's happening was because he was playing next to Tay Ratledge last year. And that, Tay Ratledge, they get him the best support being the right guard next to him. So and I was like, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. Penei Sewell is fantastic in the run game, best run defender, but he's not that great in the passing game. And I was saying that maybe they don't want to flip-flop him to the left side, but in general, we about to fuck around and find out. Now Lane Johnson, somebody said in the comment section, allegedly was a guy who tested positive for PEDs 2 times in a row. That's what's being said in the comment section. He got caught for being on that shit 2 times in a row. And here he is talking about another player, so, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. It's good banner. The Eagles, the Lions could be some teams that was there, could be there at the end. I know a lot of people love, including myself, love what the Los Angeles Rams did. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, there could be some teams that's there at the end. This is what it's about. But if you cheated the game and you got caught juicing twice, if that's true, I mean, I don't really think you got no room to really be saying nothing. Respectfully, I don't really think he should be saying anything. It's like people forget that, like, bro, you cheated the game. Like, you ain't the best at shit if you had to cheat. Like, if you got caught with that needle in your ass, how can you sit here and pass judgment on anybody? Ain't that crazy? You cheated the game, and then you sitting here talking about, you sitting here talking about, oh, he ain't the best, and this, that, and the third, and we can complain about rankings all day. How the fuck was Dak ranked above Jared Goff? You know what I'm saying? Respectfully, how was Dak ranked ahead of Jared Goff? We can talk about that shit all day. But if you don't care about it, you can't really care about it. It's a bunch of I've been start watching the top 100 rankings because it don't make no sense most of the time. They have rated Jalen Hurts as the most, hated player in the NFL. And it's like, what? Well, he got all this help. I'm like, man, I watched Peyton Manning for years have elite help. And he was 29 years old before he got his first title. He had some of the best weapons you'll see in life. Defensively, Robert Mathis, Dwight Freeney, Cade Jones, Defensive Player of the Year, Bob Sanders. Offensively, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, or what was it, Brandon Stokely, Dallas Clark, Adrian James, Joseph. I mean, you can go on and on and on. Great offensive line, Jeff Saturday. He was getting his ass kicked every year, bro. Niggas tell me I'm lying, bro. I grew up watching him lose every year to shitty teams.
They're starting to gel now. We're 7 practices in, and you can kind of start to see them, start to hit their combination blocks a little bit smoother and start to get more comfortable with the guy next to them. I think Cade at center has done a hell of a job. Obviously, Penei is going to do his thing, and you don't want to take that for granted because of how good of a player he is, but you kind of know that the left side's taken care of there. There's a battle at left guard, and at right tackle, Blake stepped up and done a great job as well. So it's all been good. Tate's doing a really good job. They're starting to gel. I think that's the best way to put it.
I mean, for Penei to do that, I mean, he makes it look easily, like flawlessly, just moves over there.
Yeah, it's really incredible.
It's not easy to do, but every person that sat in that chair today has been like, we know what he's going to do, and he's already done it.
It's really crazy. I know, to say that and to just be confident about it, and it really took him probably a couple days. And again, we're taking that for granted. And he's putting a lot of work in. It's not like he's just transitioning over there in his sleep. He's putting a lot of work in and making sure he feels comfortable over there. But pretty early in OTAs, we're like, yeah, he can do it.
Yeah.
And he feels pretty confident.
All right, ended off on this. He has done it before. He was, His rookie year, the first 7 games, Taylor Decker was out. He played left tackle. He's done it before. Now, what sounds funny is it sounds like they're moving Tay Rallis to left guard because Jared Goff said there's a battle for right guard. So it seems like Mahogany, Miles Frazier is pretty much going to be battling for right guard. And it makes sense. You know, Tate and Penny Sewell, they formed a great relationship at the highs and lows last year on the right side. Well, I moved Penny to the left and I moved Tay Rallis to the left. That didn't make sense. So you got Tate, Penny, Tate on the right side, on the left side. And on the right side, you're gonna have Blake Miller, and then you're gonna have 2 new guys on the right side. So whether it's Mahogany or Miles Frazier, and also Miles Frazier, has been surprising that right tackle as well. So it's gonna be interesting. So it's gonna be interesting. But I think the player to watch is Cade Mays at center. So we'll see what happens. Appreciate y'all. About to go live on another channel if y'all want to transfer over there. Peace.